Hey guys, what's going on? So this is something a little bit different that I'm trying to do. You see, so Lords of the Fallen came out, and kind of like Dark Souls, is one of those games that requires a lot of knowledge if you want to succeed in it. Knowledge of where to find the items, what do the items actually do, how to fight the bosses. And I guess in this case, things like, 'cause every boss has like its special requirement that if you fulfill, you get a special weapon. And there's a lot of that stuff going around, and I'm sitting here trying to give you guys the knowledge that you need to survive in Lords of the Fallen. And I think it's going to be very interesting. It's just a very different way for me to do a Let's Play. I've never done it this way. Love that jump. That was pretty badass. Here, you get the first potion. It's kind of a secret. So now you know how to get it. But this is pretty much what I want to do. I want to show you guys how to get things, where to get them, and just give you as much information as possible, everything that I've learned from the game this couple of days that I've been playing, and hopefully it helps you out. And I know that some of you guys also wanted me to do a Let's Play of this, so it kind of works out. I've never done it like this, a Let's Play, where I'm recording myself after I recorded the gameplay, because this is all, the game has already been pre-recorded now that I'm doing this. So it's gonna be a little awkward for me, but I figure it's probably gonna be for the best, since playing a game like this while doing it live, it's difficult because it's a hard game, but hopefully it works out. Now the character that I'm gonna be making here, it's a weird mixture. It's supposed to be a heavy agility-based character. Now this game is very similar to Dark Souls in the sense that you have your strength-based weapons and you have your dexterity-based weapons. In this game, however, dexterity, it doesn't matter really if you wanna use dexterity while using heavy armors or not. Like, it literally makes no difference. In some games, the damage that you do on dexterity-based weapons, it's reduced if you have heavy gears. In this game, is not the case. Oh, by the way, I want you guys to see this, how I defeat this guy. There's this move that they added in the game where you run with your shield up and you stun them. If you hit them with your shield up as you're running, it's gonna be a staple for this build, and I just want you guys to pay close attention to how I'm defeating these characters, because it's very, very important. The reason why I want to specify that is because it's one of my gripes with this game, and it's actually the reason why I'm actually using this rogue character as I am, and by that I mean heavy armor, instead of being a dodgy character, a fast character with light armor, as you usually play this type of character. My gripe is that it almost feels like in this game you are expected to get hit. In Dark Souls, if you're good, you can dodge pretty much everything. Every boss, it's pretty dodgeable, and you can come out from every battle without getting hit at all. And in this game, it feels like it's not the case. There's so many bullshitty moves and undodgeable abilities and unblockable abilities that makes it so that you will usually get hurt. And as a light character, it's a pain in the ass when you get touched and you're like halfway into your health. It's really kind of a pain in the ass, and which is the reason why I feel like dodgy, light, fast characters are not very viable in this game. And I'm sure that possibly some of you guys have had better experiences, but like if you guys know me, like I've played a lot of Dark Souls. I got to New Game Plus 7 on my character, and it's a dodgy character, it's a fast character. I never ever use a shield in Dark Souls. I think it's even, I'm almost positive in the community of Dark Souls, using a shield is considered to be noobish. Most people dodge, it's just better in Dark Souls. And me having that background, like it just doesn't work in Lords of the Fallen. You can't dodge as well as you could in Dark Souls 9. This boss, you will see me doing it pretty effectively. This and I guess the Commander, the next boss, is probably some of the only ones where you can dodge pretty much everything. There's one move from the Warden that is pretty bullshitty that I'm looking to see if he's gonna do it. He does it, I think, once in this battle. This attack where he shield slams you really, really fast if you're close, and then he follows it up with a slash. It's pretty much undodgeable if you're close enough, and it's unblockable. And that's another gripe that I have with this game. There's a couple of block attacks that you cannot block, which is weird since in... I'll be comparing... That's the attack. That's that shield slam. If it does it when you're close, you can't block it. But in Dark Souls, you can... There we go. See? There. Freaking hit me. I do have a lot of gripes with this game, and I guess I'll be going through them as I go. I'm sorry that I'm a little scatterbrained here. I enter one topic and then kind of come out with the other. It's just the game's going really fast, and I talk too slow, I guess. But before we finish with this buff, so every boss has a special requirement that if you fulfill, you get a special item, which usually is a weapon from the actual boss. In this case, you get the boss's sword, which is called Persistence. Now, I know what you guys are saying. You always get Persistence regardless of whatever you do. That's true. Usually you do get the, regardless of whatever you do, you get the item of the boss. The thing is, if you follow the requirement, you get a better version of the item. So it doesn't matter what you do, you will always get Persistence. But if you manage to kill him without getting hit, which is this boss's requirement, you get his special Persistence version, which is, I believe it does like a... You see the attack he does when he like does this vertical strike into the ground, and then this line of fire kind of comes towards you. You get that ability, which is really cool. Yeah, sorry about that. It's if you manage to kill him without getting hit, you get that. But I've never managed to do so. It's a very hard battle, and again, the shield slam he does pretty much makes it almost impossible. It's such a bullshit move because he usually gets you hit. But yeah, you're gonna see me dodge through this first encounters, and it's not gonna be that much of an issue, but later on it really does become a problem. So I'm trying out this build, and I want to know what you guys think of it. It's gonna be very interesting since we're gonna be like super heavy while wearing like things like daggers and attacking really fast but rolling super slow, which I think is gonna be pretty funny. There you go. That's the first lord. First warden. You will notice that we got his weapon, it's just not the special version. The normal weapons that you get from them are going to be purple. As you guys can see here, it's just the, see, there you go. So it's just the purple version. You know that it's a special if it's, I believe it's yellow. It's kind of a, it's like orange, yellowish kind of color if it's special. But, yeah, we're going to be going agility here. I was gonna say dexterity. We're gonna raise agility up to 15, which is what we need in order to use a weapon that we're gonna pick up a lot later. So we're gonna leave it up to 15 and then just do a little bit of vitality and then just invest as much as possible in endurance, since we are definitely gonna need it if we want to not be overcumbered with the type of armor that I want to get. But as you can see there, that's the really good move that I learned. That it's probably the best way to play the rogue characters. You can see that was a failure. Jumped there by accident. As you can see there, you can just run with your shield up and you stun them a little bit, and it gives you enough time to backstab them or to get a couple of hits for free, which is nice. It's probably the best way to deal with most of the biggest creatures in the game. Just run with your shield up, you stun them, and then you run behind them and backstab them real quick. It doesn't happen all the time. You have to kind of get them at a very precise angle. But as you can see, it deals very well with pretty much every enemy. It's like the best move ever. And it seems to me like it's the best way to play the rogue character. Which is a shame, again. I wish that I could just be dodgy, just dodge everything and attack whenever I get the chance. But it's just not as viable, and when you see the type of damage that I'm doing, the versatility that I get from just using a shield and having that shield ram ability, like, it's so good. But in here we got the staff, the monk staff, which is pretty much the best weapon for now. We're going to be using this bad boy for a couple of bosses. For the next 2 bosses we're going to be using this weapon. It's really, really good, so for any agility character, I honestly suggest using this. In terms of armor, we're not going to change really anything until I think it's a while. It's gonna take a while before we change your weapons. I don't usually suggest doing any kind of trying to get as much of a high multiplier as possible. I don't think it's really worth it. I feel like it's a really nice touch, because if you're very experienced with the game, you can just kind of go through the game and without having to worry about dying at all. But it's just not worth it. The experience that you get later, it's the same as Dark Souls. Like, you can pretty much skip most enemies and then just go for the bosses, and the amount of experience you get, it kind of balances out, because you don't have to the lower level you are, the less experience you need, so it really balances out. You level up faster later with the more experience that you get by the harder enemies, so you don't, it's not necessary at all to get the multiplier going. I honestly don't suggest skipping checkpoints for that. A lot of people have been wondering if is it worth it to give this guy the potion, because if you follow the quest line, his arm is going to be turned off, and you can give him a potion to like help him survive or whatever. But the potion that you give him, you actually lose it permanently, which people don't know. It's like the opposite of getting an empty bottle. You lose an empty bottle. The thing is, if you complete the quest line, which requires you to give him the potion and then talk to him in a couple of other different areas, if you complete it, you actually get to upgrade your potions, kind of like upgrading your Estus flask in Dark Souls, which I guess I do have my doubts on whether it's a good idea or not. Thing is, in this game, the vitality actually increases the amount that your healing potions heal for, and like it's really good as it is. Like, I don't see any reason to really upgrade it, because if you don't upgrade vitality at all, you the amount of health that you heal from the potion is pretty much enough. Usually, it's about all of your health. And if you are investing on it, like I have my super warrior character that I used to finish the game, my main character, his health pool is like insanely high, and I haven't upgraded the potion at all, but my vitality is so high that it literally heals me for like 60 or 70% of my health, which is like more than enough, which is amazing. Another thing that I also want to suggest here is that, so depending on what class you start with, whether you start with the warrior or the cleric/monk character or the rogue, you get different amounts of potions to start with. If you started with the warrior, you'll notice that you start with only 2 potions, whereas if you start with the rogue, you get 4. If you feel comfortable with the game, I would definitely suggest starting with the rogue. He's obviously a lot weaker early game. You'll notice that if I get touched at all, it takes a huge chunk of my health. But if you feel comfortable, start with the rogue. You'll be weaker, but the potions that you get like totally make up for it. And later on, we'll get a armor to kind of compare to the warrior's armor, so it's not really that big of a deal. It's more of a, you lose some value early on, but you pick it up later. And it's definitely, I think, the best course of action, the best play to do. It's what I did here, and you will see that it really doesn't make a difference. You will just get more potions out of it, which is great. We actually got the Great Axe here. Sadly, we're not using the warriors, so it doesn't really matter. Getting weapons early on, it's really nice. It's especially if you play the game a lot, because you tend to play with the same weapons over and over again, and it takes a while for you to get the better weapons. So at least for a rogue, it really does take a while. As a warrior, you get a lot of weapons. Here we got the gauntlet. The gauntlet is pretty much your magic artifact. To use it to use mana with it to cast spells. And I don't know if I should call it spells really. And here I pretty much lose my focus, and I was started to get raped by these 2 guys, the archer and this little rogue character. But I don't know if to call it magic really. It's more of a projectile based weapon that uses mana, but it's not really magic in any way, shape, or form. That's another gripe I have with the game. Magic is not really viable. You can't just use magic as your primary source of damage like you would do in say, Dark Souls as a mage. It's just not a thing. It's pretty much only used as a secondary form of damage, mainly to deal with like ghosts and things that are pretty much like invulnerable to normal physical attacks, or just as a way to have something ranged, but it's not good. It's not a good weapon at all. I tried making characters just based on faith, which is the magic equivalent in this game, and it's just not good. Do not do it. It's not worth it. Maybe like if you're already super good with the game and you want to try something different, whatever, but like as a first playthrough, like I honestly don't suggest. And now that I'm on that topic, as a first character, I definitely suggest using the warrior. The warrior, it's by far the strongest class in the game. Having heavy armor in this game is the way to go. As I said before, the heavier the better. You don't need to roll at all. You can just block with your shield. You take like absolutely no damage using the heaviest weapon you can find to deal the most damage, get the most poise. It seems to me like that's definitely the way to go. If you were to ask me what class you should play as a first class to own the game, that would probably be it. Just play the warrior. Heaviest gear you can find, heaviest weapon, just go for it. Best thing ever. We got that lethal secret there, but it's not. You can use it. It's. I think it's on par with the monk staff. I like the monk staff better because it's faster. It's weird. It does more damage and is faster, which is amazing, but it does consume a lot more stamina based on experience. I don't remember the actual stats, but if I remember correctly, based on experience, it does consume a lot more. So with the lethal secret, you can kind of do longer combos, which is cool, but with bosses in this game, you don't really get the chance to combo them at all, which is the reason why daggers are not as good in this game. This guy almost destroyed me. I don't have to kill this guy by any stretch of the imagination. I just kind of like going here mostly for the experience before fighting the commander. But yeah, as I was saying, bosses in this game don't really give you the chance to combo them. So, and daggers, which pretty much rely on combos to do most of their damage, they're completely gimped because of that. Thankfully, the combos of the dagger, when you do the super combo, the 3-hit combo, it pierces shields, which is good for like normal minions, but for bosses it doesn't, and that's the biggest problem. But we're going to be facing the commander now. You will see that I'm going to level here, get my agility up to 15, which is the minimum that we need for the weapon that we're trying to get later on. You will see whenever I get the weapon. But it's, I think if I remember, I'm going to get it to 15 and then a little bit of vitality. I'm not sure. Yeah, just 1 vitality, that's good enough. And then for the rest of this video, we're just going to improve endurance to get... the energy is fine, but it's mostly just the equipment burden that we're looking for. Now, for this boss, a lot of people don't know what's the requirement for this boss to get the special weapon. In this case, it's a shield. By the way, you get his shield, the commander's shield. But you actually cannot use a shield in this battle. You cannot. Actually, I believe you cannot block anything. That's the thing. I made a character literally just to test it, and I tried to block with my weapon to see if it would affect the drop, and it actually does. So you're not allowed to block with a shield. You're not allowed to block with a weapon. You're just supposed to dodge everything or take the damage. And if you do that, and you defeat the boss like that, you get his shield, his special version of his shield, which in this case, I believe it throws projectiles, kind of like what he does when he comes out of his shield stance. Which I haven't tested yet, but gotta be cool, I guess. This boss is really easy, honestly. All you have to do is stay close to him. You will notice that it's one of those bosses that are really easy to dodge. As I said before, only the first 2 bosses are easy to dodge. The other ones become kind of a pain in the ass. But all you have to do for this boss, when you can actually hit him, when he's out of his shield stance, all you have to do is just be close to him. There are usually 2 types of attacks that he can do when you're really, really close, which is one of them is a shield slam he does, where he kind of knocks you all the way back. If you have no armor. If you're a warrior, it'll probably just like stun you a little bit, but if you're a rogue like me, it'll knock you the hell up. It doesn't actually do damage. I think he's gonna do it here. Let's see. I think he does. Boom. That, you see, it actually does no damage. So it doesn't matter. You can get hit by it. It literally makes no difference. He'll definitely follow it up with a normal attack, but other than that, you can just stay close, and he can either do the shield slam or that shield attack, the shield pound on the ground, and that's your cue to attack him. It's pretty much what you want him to do. If he does that, you can hit him for free about twice. It depends on how fast your weapon is. The staff is really fast, so you can do it about twice before he wakes up. But that's pretty much what I'm going to do. You will see that it's literally all I'm going to do. Just get as close as possible to force him to do that one attack, the shield slam on the ground, and then just hit him a couple of times. It's really not that hard. You don't need the shield at all, really. I guess when you're fighting 2 ats, which is... right now, here, you'll see that he'll summon 2 ats at the same time. This is probably the most dangerous part of the battle. So, thankfully, I managed to backstab this guy really quickly, which was amazing. A lot of times you don't get that chance. If you take long enough, the boss will actually come out of his shield stance and join the 2 ats to fight you at the same time, which is like the worst thing in the world. You want to avoid that as much as possible. But you see, it's not really that difficult. If you take one of them really quickly, it's the other one is just a piece of cake. It's not that big of a deal. It's one of the easiest bosses in the game. I feel like, if anything, it's easier than the first boss, in my opinion. I think, yeah, you know, I could definitely say he's the easiest boss in the game. You can get really unlucky, and if the shield drops, or whatever you call it, the starfalls, the drop from the ceiling when he does his shield slam thing, if those hit you in a consecutive manner, like, it'll probably kill you, especially if you're a rogue. You have to be really unlucky for more than one to hit you. Like, that's just not... I've never had that before. Yeah, no, I don't think that's possible. But, yeah, it's pretty simple. Not big of a deal. Really, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I don't know really what else to say about this boss. It's not... it's not a problem. Not gonna take us too long here to defeat. I wanted to let you guys know that I'm not gonna be doing the portals. I know you guys are probably already wondering why I'm not doing the portals, why I missed them. I'm not missing them, I'm not doing them on camera, and I highly doubt I'll be doing them in game as well. I don't think I'm just gonna do them at all. If you're starting, I honestly suggest doing them. They give you good weapons, and they give you crystals, which obviously you need in order to improve your weapons further. I'm already very experienced with the game, so I feel like I don't need them at all. It's kind of a cocky thing on my part, I suppose, but I do suggest doing them. Just to conserve time mostly. I don't want to just waste your time having you guys see me just go through those portals. It's kind of useless. It would make the videos a lot longer, so that's, you know, whatever. But you'll notice that I'm gonna skip all the stories. Most cinematics that involve me talking to another character, or, you know, things like that are not just boss cinematics. I don't think the story in this game is that good. It's okay. I don't think I'll do lore videos for them. They're not really that interesting at all. But another thing that I want you guys to see, look at the item as it drops on the floor. You can see that it has that color. It's like a yellowish color. I don't know if that's always the case. It's probably just the fire below the item that colors it yellow. I'm not sure. But just the fact that it is the same color as the rarity of the weapon kind of makes me wonder, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just the fire coloring it different. But I'm going to show you guys here, that's the commander shield. You can see that as I selected, it has that special ability there below the stats. That's your tell to see if it has any special abilities. Otherwise, just look at the color. If it's orange/yellow, then it's special, and that's all you need to know. If it's purple, then you failed on the requirement. But that's pretty much it for that boss. It's pretty easy, just really no problem at all. You'll see that our character is doing fantastic. Now this is probably the biggest threat to rogues, and is the reason why I incorporated using the shield with my rogue character. Is the actual reason why I don't like dodging in this game is this characters, this and the heavier versions of them. Trying to fight shield bearers with a rogue character is a mess. It's just like a big no-no. You'll see that I run towards them with my shield up, I stun them, and then I backstab them. If you're good enough, if you get them on the right angle, you can do it like this, and it's fantastic. It's really the only way to fight them in a manner where you don't lose a lot of health or you don't waste time, because half the time, the only way to hit them is by waiting for them to strike and then dodging and then trying to see if you can backstab them or something, or hitting them as they attack you, but that'll probably get you hit as well, so... It's a problem. I rage quitted on those guys so many times before I figured out that I could just like shield ram them. But that's pretty much why you need a shield. If you play without a shield, dude, you are my hero. I don't know how you do it. It's just annoying. And eventually we're gonna be fighting some of these guys that cannot be backstabbed, and you'll see that this method just proves to be like godlike for those. And I tried before, and I rage quitted so hard. Trying to fight those guys without the shield slam ability, it's crazy. We're gonna see if we can backstab this guy. It's always nice. You can actually do that in this game. You can sneak into enemies and get them like this, which is fantastic. You don't really get to use it as much, but it's always nice. Your character is pretty strong usually, so you don't need to be that fancy, really. We're kicking a lot of ass here. It's going well. It's going pretty well. We're gonna be leveling up a little bit here, and you'll see that we're gonna start putting all of our points on endurance. We're not going to be able to fast roll with this character. If we can, that would be fantastic. If we get a lot, and I mean a lot of endurance, we might be able to fast roll, but it's a long. I don't see that happening really. We're gonna pick up a really heavy armor and I don't know if that's gonna be possible. I haven't recorded too far yet, so I'm not sure how it's gonna go. Let's see, pick up this. And last resort, sadly, is I believe it's a strength-based weapon. I was looking for it there, but yeah, it's strength, so we can't really use it. It's kind of lame that short swords like those are strength-based. I feel like there are so many options for strength-based weapons that gotta give you more for agility. There you go. It's not a problem. That's how we deal with those guys. So a lot of you guys were asking what did I felt about Lords of the Fallen, you know, like in kind of a review kind of way, like what were my if I liked the game, if I didn't like the game, etc. This area right now here, this place, it's pretty much the reason why I don't like Lords of the Fallen as much as I like Dark Souls. I feel like when you play Dark Souls, most areas in the game are super open. Like, I mean, just pick up an area. You go into the Forest of Lost Giants, you go into the Grave of Saints, you go into Shrine of Amana. Every area in Dark Souls just feels big. It feels like a real breathing world, right? For some reason in Lords of the Fallen, every area, and you will not really notice it from now, but later on as we continue through the game, you will notice that the areas will start to become tinier and tinier and tinier. And we're gonna be entering really claustrophobic areas in the game where, like, you're gonna be. I kind of failed the backstab here. For some reason I didn't do it, but we're gonna be entering areas where it's really all just gonna be, as I said on Facebook before, shoulder to shoulder, like hitting the wall from shoulder to shoulder. Like, it's gonna be super claustrophobic, super tiny kind of hallways, and that will become the game. And I feel like a game like this that revolves a lot around, like, you know, having ranged abilities and going in and running and dodging, and it's so hurt by really small areas and enclosures, and that's all you're going to be finding in this game. The first areas of the game are really nice, right? You're going to be fighting the area where you fight the commander. It's nice, it's open, it's cool. All the areas before that are whatever, it's fine. You can see you can see that the other entrances here in the map, you can see that I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly, but like, you can see sections that you will walk into later on in the game, in the first areas of the game, as you walk towards them, right? Later on, that just doesn't become the case anymore. As you enter the catacombs, as you enter the portal into the other world, you will start to notice that places will start to become very, very tiny and claustrophobic-like, and it's just, I don't like it. I really, really dislike it. Look, places like this, right? It's like I'm forced to battle this guy in this really tiny kind of place, and that's what we're gonna be encountering. Maybe I'm just moaning too much, but that is pretty much my main kind of aesthetic gripe with the game. I guess I do have a lot of those gripes, but yeah. We're gonna be fighting the next boss here. I believe it's called the Inquisitor. Fuck, I don't remember the actual name of the guy. But this is where it starts to get a little trickier if you are a fast character, especially because he summons ads, and those ads are pretty much unavoidable. You will not be able to dodge them all. It depends on how many he summons. He can summon he can actually summon more than 2. If you're unlucky and he decides to summon multiple times in a row, he can have like 4 or 6 minions at the same time, and that's just a big pain in the ass. But just in general, I guess you don't really need to dodge as much in this match outside of the minions. But when the minions do come out, it's just impossible anyways, and you do need the armor to take them from just raping you. But there you go. So we're gonna fight on this guy. This guy does take a very long time to kill. To get his special weapon, you have to force him to kill 2 of his minions, which is actually really easy to do. Sometimes you'll see that he does that attack where he just kind of swipes his scythe. Sometimes that scythe attack does outrageous amounts of damage to the minions. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure what's the difference, but I've had it one-shot the minions before, and sometimes it doesn't. It's weird. I don't think you should rely on that, to be honest. Whenever you take one of his bars, you see that he has like 4 different bars in his health slot, his health bar or whatever. Whenever you take one of those out, he does this special ability where he pretty much like does this chanting, and then he hits his scythe on the ground and the entire area explodes. That'll one-shot you. Like, it'll doesn't matter how much health you have, it'll hit you for about 4,000 health, so it'll one-shot you. This thing that he's doing right now. When he's doing this, his HP, or his defense goes like right up, so you cannot hit him at all. But I think this is the best way to kill his ads. If you can just wait for him to summon his ads and then force him to do this, and then the actual spell will one-shot the ads really easy. It's one of the easiest requirements to fulfill, actually. I don't think I've ever failed it before. Just even if you're not trying, it just kind of happens. Like, it's that easy, right? Other than that, the boss itself is just annoying more than anything. It's not really difficult. You can't really get that many hits in, and you'll see here that now I'll start to struggle. I was trying to force him into killing the minions with his scythe swipes, but it was just not doing the trick, and I was having a really hard time. I was trying to push them in front of him so that he would kill them, but it takes so long. Sometimes he does it really fast, sometimes he doesn't. It's kind of random. Now, what I should have done here is attack them to force him to lose the bar, but you can see that I'm having kind of a... I'm struggling to do that because I'm trying to keep myself full, and these guys are just not letting me into the boss. But as I was saying, the annoying part of this boss is that it's really hard to attack him when he's not stunned, because his attacks are really, really fast. See, I failed that miserably. I should have... I accidentally made him get stunned by destroying the altar, which is usually good, except that it made it so that I had to fight the minions by myself, which is not what you want. But he's just really hard to attack in general. If he's not stunned, you will notice that as long as you get close, he'll start doing his stuns, and he'll start doing his scythe attacks, and he's faster than you too, so it's just a pain in the ass in general. I don't really like this boss as much. Here we go. So this is what you want to do. You see that as soon as he's summoning his creatures, I push this bar into the next level, which automatically makes it so that he has to do his super special. And now all I have to do is stand here, pull out my shield, and just wait for them to come. As long as I keep them out. I don't know if they'll actually not die if they get immune to the spell, if they're inside the altar, I don't know. But just try to keep them out and they'll automatically die, and that's it. That's all you gotta do to get the requirement. The weapon you get from him is his scythe, of course. And his special, it's pretty much what he does here, which is like, it makes it so that those special kind of scythes come out of the ground, which is pretty cool. It is, however, a faith-related weapon, so, and as I said before, I don't think many people are going to be focusing on faith. It's not really that good at all in this game, so it's kind of a shame. Not many people are going to use that weapon. There you go, now we can force him to do his stun here. We got stuck here, sadly, so we lost a lot of damage, but that's cool. But that's pretty much it. That's the boss. It's not really a hard boss. It's just annoying more than anything, especially if you're if you rely a lot on your shield. It's especially annoying because his attacks actually go through your shield. It's a small percentage of it, 10, maybe 20% of his attacks go through your shield, which is very, very annoying. But other than that, it's easy. Not that big of a deal. I remember raging hardcore on this boss because the only way for you to figure out that special attack kills you in one shot is to die from it, which is like one of those things that I just really hate about games sometimes, where you have to learn by dying. But you know, whatever. You learn and you move on. Not that big of a deal. There you go. That's that. One thing that we'll be doing here before we move further, it's two things actually. I want to pick up a lot of skulls, human skulls that you can find around here in the graveyard, and you can find them on the catacombs as well, because there is actually a quest later on that'll have you deliver these human skulls to this character. It doesn't matter. It's just a character later on that you have to give him the skulls, and he'll give you probably the best shield in the game for agility-based characters, which is weird because you don't usually... Shields usually are strength-based, but this is like the one shield that is like good and happens to be agility. And since we're using the shield a lot, that was trying here, the weapon. Since we're using the shield a lot, I figured that it's probably going to be super useful for us. So I'm going to be collecting the skulls here, so don't mind me too much. But I was trying to see if we could activate the special of the weapon without having the requisites, but obviously we can't, so that's sad. But anyways, we're going to be picking up the skulls here. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do before we move forward, because now we're supposed to go into this other realm where we're going to fight the bad guys over there, the lords. Instead, I'm going to actually go into the catacombs, which I'm not supposed to go into yet, but because there are some items there that I want to pick up. I'm talking too fast. There are some items there that I want to pick up, so I'm going to be going there in a second. There we go. And I'll show you guys where to get them, because oh my god, they are amazing. And I forgot to remove the loading screen, I'm sorry. Now, if you're a warrior, actually you can get, especially if you're a warrior. If you're a warrior, I highly suggest going here first before you commit to going and destroying the infiltrator. You will know that we're gonna put the last points here in endurance. Yep. Yeah, you're gonna get some really nice things here. Now this area is higher level than what you are, so I honestly suggest not even fighting these guys. You'll notice that I'm just like gonna evade them all and do my best to not encounter them at all. Here you go, my axe. It's probably the best, one of the best weapons in the game. At least for if you're a warrior, you're gonna use that weapon for at least 80% of the game. Like I guarantee it. At least I did. This is one of the best weapons you can get as a warrior. So if you're a warrior, go there, use it. It's amazing. Now as a rogue, we're gonna be using this one, the one we just picked up. It's fantastic as well. But this is what I'm here for. The main reason, this chest over here. This is going to be the armor that we're gonna be using. It's a very, I think it's actually medium armor. I'm almost positive it's medium, but it's like super heavy. Now I'm having a really hard time moving through here. You should have seen my face raging when it was happening. It's whatever. I'm just tired right now. I've been commentating for like 40 minutes now. But I think it's medium armor, the thing we just picked up. But regardless, honestly, regardless of whether you're a warrior or a rogue, I suggest using this. It's probably going to be heavier and better than your starting gear as a warrior. So it's you just get it, whatever. It looks awesome as fuck, and it's really good. Now we won't be able to. Yeah, I'm just showing you guys here how awesome it looks. Like I love the armors, how they look like in Lords of the Fallen. They're amazing. But we're not able to fast roll anymore, so we're pretty much going to rely on our defense to get us through enemies. And I think this is the part where it becomes a little funny, because we're going to be using a dagger and heavy armor, which is going to be like the best combo ever. But it doesn't matter what class really you're playing. I highly suggest doing this, going to the catacombs, getting these items, these weapons, and these armors, because the game starts to get a little bit tough here. This is probably the part people say in Dark Souls 1, right? The game starts in Anor Londo. That's when the game kind of picks up, becomes hard. And here I would say this is the place where the game like gets a little bit annoying, and the difficulty ramps up quite definitely here. So I would definitely suggest using this armor set here. We're gonna be getting the blacksmith as well, and what I like about the weapon I just picked up, the dagger, is that it actually has a slot, so we're gonna be able to use one of our runes to fortify it. We don't really need this big rune, so we're gonna use it now. Using the experience gives you a higher chance of getting a better rune, but at this level I don't think it's worth it, because 1,000 experiences, it's a very high cost. I honestly don't suggest doing it now. But I was kind of deciding which one to go for. I was checking to see which one gave me the most power. It was kind of weird for me, because I'm not that experienced in stats. You know, what stats gives you what, and one gave me like an attack bonus and the other one gave me damage. I was like, what's the difference? I was kind of struggling there, but this one gave me the most DPS, so I kind of stuck with this. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. I really hope so. I don't know if I was really that helpful, but, you know, if anything, I showed you guys where to get some great weapons and some great armors and how to defeat the bosses and what special requirements you need to get in order to, or fulfill in order to get the weapons. But yeah, I don't know if I'll continue this. I honestly don't know. So let me know if you guys want to see more of this. It really depends on you guys, and if you guys really want to see this, if it gets views and stuff, and then I'll continue it. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show the game. I've been pretty addicted to it. It's been great. Man, I've done this for like 40 minutes now. I'm kind of tired. A little scatterbrained too. Just follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I usually talk a lot about the games that I'm playing, and hope you guys are looking forward to the next lore video. I'm doing Uther for World of Warcraft, so if you guys are looking forward, if you guys like him, hope you all will enjoy that. But that's it. I'll see you guys some other time. Bye-bye. Jesus.